Well, hello there. How are we doing today? I hope you're doing absolutely peachy keen. Thank you for stopping by. I'm a beautiful lady, and it's not Yamina, even though it looks just like Yamina. It's actually Katerina. And originally I was going to name her Khadija and make it like Yamina's sister and everything, but then I saw Cat Arena. I saw Cat as in my name Cat, and then Arena. And I was like, it just comes together so beautifully. I just have to use that name. And man, let me tell you, I have started this new Night of the Blazing Sun specifically so that I might. Oh, look, she did a trick. It's just specifically so that I might be able to level up properly and get like a better like RVR level. Because although I love Yamina and she's beautiful and she's forever, oh my god, friend. Um, I kind of leveled her up in a weird way. Or, well, I leveled her up without doing a whole lot of RVR. So the problem with that in this game is that, like, once you get to level 40, a lot of the stuff requires you to be higher level in RVR for, especially for, like, new equipment and new cool things and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, I wanted to start over. And I've been trying out all these different classes, and I have to say that Night of the Blazing Sun is probably just one of my favorites. And then on top of that, it's also just like one of my favorite things in Warhammer fantasy lore. I love the Knights of the Blazing Sun. I love being a cool lady of the Empire who's going to become a knight. Excuse me. That guy just like walks around with a gun drawn all the time. Yeah. Excuse me. Hairball and sandwich ball. I made this sandwich and it was like roast beef and spinach and some just a little bit of spicy Doritos and a little bit of bacon. And then I made this dip for it, this like spread for it. And the spread was mayonnaise, Italian dressing, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of mustard, and just like a little bit of paprika in it. And I mixed that. Oh, and also, yeah, a little bit of lemon like juice. Just squirted a little bit of lemon juice in there. And I mixed all that together and I put it on the sandwich. And I have to say, it was fantastic. That was delicious. I would highly recommend if you're gonna make sandwiches, then you would like something that's like a little bit got a little bit of zest to it. That you want to put on a sandwich and it's a little bit better than just regular mayonnaise. Man, that stuff was delicious. And I dipped some spicy Doritos in it afterwards. I was like, oh my goodness, that is so good. But like at the same time, like it was like just it was as delicious as it was. I'm also like I couldn't eat that very often because it was just kind of like a lot. Like I kind of put like a lot of roast beef on there because like I had a packet of roast beef and I hadn't been eating it quite fast enough. So the problem became that it was like it wasn't like expiring too soon, but it was gonna expire soonish. So I was like, okay, let's like finish it off. But then I put like way too much roast beef on there, and I will admit it was still delicious, but like my lord, was that like a lot of meats and things inside of the roast beef. And you know, it got me thinking if this is gonna sound weird, but basically what I was thinking about was like uh things you would miss if you were like living in like the Warhammer universe. And I feel like one of the things you'd probably miss is just like access to just like random tasty food. Like in Warhammer 40k, there's like tasty food, and in Warhammer Fantasy, there's tasty food. But like, if I just want to make like a roast beef sandwich, I feel like it's gonna be like a lot more work. And like if I was Katarina and I was walking around and I was like, man, you know what I would really enjoy? I would really enjoy a roast beef sandwich. That would be delicious and tasty. And then I would cheer like this. I would go, what, woo, roast beef sandwich. And yeah, but then it would be like difficult to get because you'd have to like, well, I mean, Katarina is rich. You see, what she actually is she's this, she is from the cat realm, which is my realm. And I'm a large eldritch abomination when I'm not a fluffy cat. So, you know, like I created this realm where my friendies can go and they can come to the gas station at the end of the universe And at the gas station at the end of the universe, we'll make you a good sandwich. And Katerina wants to make her own sandwiches sometimes. So she has to buy the ingredients from the gas station at the end of the universe before she comes back here. And then she's like, oh, man, it would probably have been easier to just like buy a sandwich from the place and just eat it there. But you know, it's okay. I mean, you know, she's adventuring and she's running around trying to help the people of the Empire. And I will say that, man, do I love the peoples of the Empire and helping them out and everything like that. And it's kind of interesting. Something I noticed about, like, the way Warhammer deals with, like, the masses is very much like this idea that, like, oh, no, they're all just, like, dumb and, like, easy to manipulate and bad people. Like, in a lot of ways, that kind of seems like a lot of, like, what they imply. Although it is interesting, I like the idea, because there's, like, the window tax riots. I like the idea of going back to the window tax riots and starting a revolution and then getting Karl Franz to become a socialist, and he could lead the socialist revolution in the Empire. And I think that would be really neat and cool. And if we could get him to get on board with that, I would be pretty down. Because, you know, like, that's part of the problem is, like, you know, with a lot of your socialist revolution, like, you want to kill the people, like, kill people in charge because they're, like, the bourgeoisie who have abused, like, things and stuff like that. But in this particular case, I like Karl Franz, and I don't want him to be dieted, so we'll probably just try to convince him to join our sides. And, you know, like, it'll be a whole thing. But yeah, you see, I like the idea, and I do this when I play D&D a lot. I like the idea of just getting, like, really wealthy in the Empire and then just, like, using that to, like, help people out. And, you know, like, maybe create, like, an army of, like, loyalists. People who are loyal to, like, me and my causes. And then, you know, I mean, that's what I like about, like, Yamina and Khadija and all that. And I kind of transferred those ladies more and more into, like, my own work, because I have my own, like, sort of Warhammer-inspired fantasy and science fiction setting that I've been working on for a little while. And, I mean, they're two separate settings, but... Because as much as I like Warhammer, sometimes it's nice to step outside and kind of do some things a little differently. But I really like the idea of that kind of thing. And, you know, I kind of keep that for Katerina here. I like the idea that she's, you know, similar to Yamina, like half Arabian, half Telian. Just because I still think that that's, like, a very interesting mix and combination. And I kind of like the idea of trying to bring some of the Southern culture into the Empire and just be like, hey, you know, Myrmidia is, like, real cool, and you can worship her and Sigmar, and then you can, like, help defeat the bad people. Like, these Chaos Raiders here. Like, this Chaos Raider here, she has her boobies out, but that's, like, for a bit of a distraction, I think. I think she's, like, trying to, like, get you to notice her titties as she's, like, running towards that. You know, like, that. This is kind of a side comment, really, but I do notice that, like, that is, like, the way some of the Chaos Raiders and stuff like that they dress, and I just can't help but think, like, it just looks like it would not give you very much support, and I just feel like it would be uncomfortable on your boobas to just have them kind of, like, hanging out like that. I would think you would want a little bit more support. I think that would be more comfy, you know. Skull Taker banner. Okay, so this is the one that still needs to be taken. I will wait till whoever is completing this gets over here so that they may help. Oh. Wait. Oh, it's also a lady who is the Knight of the Blazing Sun. Huzzah! Together we shall claim victory. Oh, she just... Lou? Lou to you as well, my lady. Wait, let me just... Ooh, I got a lesser loot bag. I just got to hang out. Oh, cool. Now I can already claim a nice chest piece. That will be a little bit better. I'm gonna do that. Cool. I wonder if she is going to return to redo this again. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I know that there was some people were talking about like the idea of Creative Assembly doing Araby as a faction in Total War Warhammer, and people were like, nah, it's like too racist to do as a faction. And I don't know about that. I think there's certainly some things that are like, a little offensive there. But like, it could still be done, I think, if you uh no problem, 3. I think if you approached it in the right way, like Catte didn't have like very much written about it, and like the little bit I think that's mentioned is not like super necessarily great, but that didn't mean that they couldn't. Um, I think we're gonna go kill the giant thingy. Yep. People are rude. But you know, I think it's real cool. I think I am very much like I am an amateur historian, and I'm an amateur historian who greatly enjoys Arabian and like Middle Eastern history and Indian history and a lot of these other things. So it would just be really cool to me if we just had like an Araby project or something like that. Although I think there are actually mods for Araby to play in Total War Warhammer 3. So I might just see if I can download one of those and play that. But yeah, Araby's really cool. Araby's real neat. I can understand why some people are like, oh, I didn't know about that. I understand that to a certain degree, my dudes. And I'm not saying that you're completely wrong either. But I think that like you can take what's there and make something pretty cool about it. I think there's a couple things that I would definitely change. Like I would probably change the way the way they describe the ladies as dressing in like all like shirts that reveal their bellies and like pantaloons. That kind of feels a little weird to me. I don't really 100% understand why that's what they went. I guess it's because it's exotic. I don't know really. But yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't necessarily. They might actually be running back to the other thing. No, I'll see. But you know, like I think it could be fun to do. And I'm always really interested in the idea of like people traveling around the Warhammer world. Like, okay, I understand that the kind of like poor peasant people who are like not super educated in the world around them. It's kind of like your default thing in Warhammer and Warhammer Fantasy. I kind of get that, but I always like the idea of playing around with like a well-trained, uh, educated person, kind of like messing around in that general vicinity. Ooh, nothing. Cool quest. Yee, let's go. Jump, jump, jump. And I like that. I like the idea of that a lot. And also, I took the money that I had on Gracia and I just moved it over to here because I really wasn't super enjoying Witch Hunter. I enjoy Night at a Blazing Sun. I really enjoy them and the Shadow Warrior, and there's a couple other classes that I've been enjoying. But unfortunately, just Witch Hunter was just like, I don't know. This wasn't really vibing for me, my dudes. But it's okay. We got Night at the Blazing Sun, and I get to be beautiful Katarina. Yay! But yeah. And I like the idea of like exploring the periphery and like for instance, I think you can do some really interesting stuff about like exploring like parts of outdoor for like maybe like people from Catte or like Araby or other places have like made their little like homes of a sort. I think that could be really interesting. And you could do some really interesting stuff with that and just write some cool characters who are like capable of going through and or like just like writing a little bit about that, or like even like people you could go from like as far as like Nippon if you really wanted to, and I think that would be pretty neat. uh I greatly enjoy like exploring all different aspects of the old world, and I think that there's a lot to be said for exploring like Araby and Cathay and things like that. And I mean, Cathay has produced, like this really cool faction in Warhammer Total War 3. I think they're really neat. They're a little bit more high fantasy than you get with a lot of the other factions, but I still think that's perfectly fine. I think that they do a lot of interesting and unique stuff, and having them be a little bit different and having them be a little bit more high fantasy kind of helps them stand out against like the other factions a little bit more, and like it kind of makes them feel like they're more unique. You get like the interesting Asian faction who feels like they kind of have access to like old lore and like ancient lore because of their being led by dragons and things like that. And I think that's personally real neat. Cool. Look at this lady. She's such a cool person. Making all kinds of badass moves. Slaying the enemies. I don't even know why I'm bothering gathering up all this brass, because it's barely amounts to anything when you add it all together. But I'm gonna do it anyway, because I can. And like... for instance, would also really like it if maybe we got like a cool expedition to end or something like that. IND. In case you don't know, that's like the Warhammer version of India. And I think that's pretty cool. There's a lot of the fans have done a lot of interesting history stuff with End. I don't really know there's very much or anything like official about End, other than like it being very far away and full of mystical treasure. That one peasant is very super brave peasant. Hey, and now they get to say that they helped us fight a giant. I would say that's pretty cool. Let's see. Ooh. I like this. I always like getting shoulder thingies. But watch, is it? Oh yeah, it just looks slightly different from the other one, but that's fine. I got second. I guess it's just because we went through that so fast. Um, but yeah, I don't really care because I'm just gonna sell it. Adventure. I but yeah, I love the idea of like exploring these different parts of the world. And I think the cool thing about the Empire is that the Empire is actually cosmopolitan enough that it would kind of let you experience all these different places and things like that. It's part of the reason why I really like the Empire is that it even though like it's sometimes written to be like this kind of weird ignorant backwater, it actually has like this cool cosmopolitan nature about it where like depending on where you go you can really kind of experience all different parts of the old world or like people from a lot of different parts of the old world, and I think that's really neat. I think the other there's and there's other stuff that's really cool about the Empire as well. We're just the Empire, you know, just standing up against all these horrible monsters and things. It just makes it a really cool place. I really enjoy a lot of things about the Empire. It's probably one of my favorite like just fantasy nations, and it's just always so neat. And I really like the Holy Roman Empire aesthetic. I well, once again, as an amateur historian, that's like another area that I just find very interesting. Like post-Protestant Reformation, um, post-Protestant Reformation, Europe is just kind of an interesting place to experience and be. I don't even know why I bother trying to fight this thing. Murder the boys. Murder the boys. We're gonna kill them all with a sword in our hand. Murder the boys. But yeah, like look at this lady's boobas. Look at there's a lot of underboob there going on. I don't know. That just looks like it would be kind of uncomfortable. But you know, I do not have booba, so I cannot confirm nor deny. I guess I need to send out like a pamphlet and just like with the like little design of like the booba and say, hey ladies, would this be uncomfortable on your booba? And see what people say. You know, like for science. Because I am a cat of the people. I don't want people's to like if I was gonna design armor for people's, I would want it to be comfortable, you know? Like I don't want it to be like part of the problem with a lot of like female armor design. This one isn't too bad, I guess. Like there's like some space for the boobies, and it's not like 100% trying to like sculpt around the two booba. So agreed. I don't need it. I'm just gonna sell it. Okay, I keep trying to loot that, but then it's telling me I can't or something. I don't know. Kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. I think that would be really cool, and you know, if there are any good Araby mods, I should check them out and just like play and try to, because one of my most recent things is I was playing Total War Warhammer 3, but I was mostly just I'll set need for both those. I don't know. It's always hard to determine, like, well, I should have looked to see if she hit need last time. But, yeah. I think the Empire is real cool. I think the... I have no idea what I believe that's French? Maybe? Cat does not know. I have no idea. But anyway, yeah. I just wanted to talk about how cool I thought the Empire was and how, like, the Cosmopolitan stuff, and I wish we could... you know, like, I'm gonna write some short stories and things like that and maybe share them a little bit on the YouTubies with, I'm an ignorant, fat American cat. Well, not really American, space cat, I guess. But yeah, I thought it would be cool, and I think it would be kind of cool. I might like work a little bit on like some stories and things like that, and maybe share them online and like talk about them a little bit and see. Oh, they don't speak very much English. That's fine. That's fine. You are still the coolness, and I still love you, cool, possibly French person, and God loves you as well, so it's okay. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me babble about the Empire and different characters and things for a little bit. And I hope that you all have an absolutely wonderful day. And I will create more Warhammer content in the future. Okay, bye-bye. Bye, love you, bye. Bye, love you, cat. Loves you, bye. Bye-bye, cat.